some real spectacle in that. And Hannibal is, for me, the best fucking Hannibal Lecter adaptation there is. Hey, Jeremy, you know, I think Mads is the best Hannibal, and other than, you know, I mean, I love Manhunter. But yeah, that series is something else with Brian Fuller. Anyway, we should get going. What do you reckon, dude?
Yeah, man, I'm down. I'm noticing my headphones are beeping, and that means they might be fucking dying on me pretty soon. So I might just have to lose my headphones.
You're a true professional. Professional.
They've been acting weird. I don't know why, so I apologize for that. I usually am the.
No, you are. I'm just being a dick.
All right, I'm gonna try to kill these and see if it.
Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Affirmative. Oh, yeah, let's get going.
Right,
welcome to Film Frak. Welcome to Film Frak, our second retro special. We're going to continue our list of comfort food flicks just because we had so much fun last week, and you know, all you guys chiming in and telling us your favorites and shit was really fun as well. Had a load of fun with it actually. So yes, this is number 2. Hopefully we won't take you out for 3 hours. Make it as long as Ben-Hur, but who knows? We like to talk fucking film. I get overexcited, that's for sure. I'm Adam. I'm coming to you live from Perth for first timers.
And I'm John. I'm here in the old United States of America on this beautiful 4th of July Eve in New Hampshire. Coming in from New Hampshire, kid.
Yeah, 4th of July. Are you in a celebratory mood?
I mean, I was at a political rally, filming a political rally all day today, so I couldn't possibly be more in. I witnessed patriotism at its finest today. So.
Yeah. Hoorah! Okay, well, shall we begin discussing the first film that's on the television screen behind us?
Yeah, man. Let's fucking get into it, because who wants to live forever? Tell you what, this guy does. But
Clan MacLeod, the Clan MacLeod.
If this is your first time tuning into our new comfort food thing, we're gonna just talk about some old stuff and some of our favorite stuff, and this is both of those things for me. This is the 1986 magical piece of cinema known as Highlander. Let's see, how do we get into Highlander? If you've never seen Highlander before, you got some immortals that can only die if their head gets cut off, and they're all over the world throughout the ages trying to vie for the prize, which
there can be only one.
There can be only one. Except there was several of these movies, and they get progressively worse as time goes on. So,
I mean, yeah. You'd think that number 2 was like peak bad, and then the third one came out.
Two. I don't mind two.
The TV series was pretty cool though.
I never saw the TV series.
I mean, obviously, it was really uneven, just like the movies are. But the TV series was actually had some episodes that really explored some good shit.
They crossed over with the movie too, because I remember Christopher Lambert being in the TV series a few times, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Doug just saying Sean Connery as a Spaniard. You know what's really funny is supposedly Sean Connery actually had a voice coach and was actually working on a Spanish accent. And in his mind, he wasn't speaking like Sean Connery in that film. But it's also worth noting that he only had a week to shoot the fucking goddamn thing, if I recall. I mean, I'm going, all this could be accurate information. I could be full of shit because I didn't do any homework before this episode. But if I recall, he had to shoot the whole thing in a week. Like, all of his footage is shot within a week. And for pretty much most of that week, he was just fucking plastered. They got on the plane. Russell McCulley, I remember this part, was Russell McCulley and Lambert got on an aeroplane. And as soon as they got on an aeroplane, fucking Sean Connery brought out a bottle of homemade scotch that someone had given him, that someone had made in their house and given to fucking Sean Connery. And he's like, hey, let's have a nip of this. And supposedly, Christopher Lambert said he had one fucking shot and it just blew his friggin' brains out. And so by the time they arrived in Scotland, they were already out of their tits. And the thing with it is everyone else sobered up except for Connery.
That's awesome.
Kept on going. Yeah. So I mean, it's directed by Russell McCulley, who's an Australian director who was really, really famous for music videos. I mean, like, in the MTV era, Russell McCulley directed, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right either, so I do apologize if that's wrong. I've never actually heard his name said out loud to know how to pronounce it. But he did like the Elton John, heap of Duran. I mean, every single Duran Duran clip that you consider fucking great, was him. Elton John, Billy Joel, like he did all the video clips for all those guys. So it was that time where a lot of directors like Ridley Scott and stuff were advertising directors who got into movies, and then there was the video clip directors. And Macaulay's style was this fast cutting kind of style that at the time was kind of a game changer, the way his video clips were edited. It kind of dictated in a way what the music video era looked like. That MTV era was in a large way dictated by his style. And yeah, and then Highlander came along. And the funniest thing about Highlander, other than, like, we'll get into what the film's actually about and what's in the film, but the first time I ever saw Highlander was in history class in high school. Think about that for a moment and try and think of even one thing in that fucking film that's historically accurate. Because I seriously can't. I mean, I don't watch films for historical accuracy anyway. But yeah, it's just astonishing. That was my first experience, was, you know, the teacher reeled out the VHS and we all sat there and took notes and then talked about, you know, Scotland and the history of Scotland and stuff like that. But I'm still in your show because Highlander's your film.
It is, but that's okay. I mean, you know, you do go on.
I love fucking Highlander, man. And, yeah,
you should.
We saw it on the big screen with you. You know, you hosted it, and we saw it in the fucking cinema on that giant fucking screen.
It was a glorious evening. I think that was the last time I watched it too, honestly. Yeah, man, fucking. I've only seen up to Highlander 3. I've only seen the third one, up to the third one, and I remember the third one being, that third one's like the one with Mario Van Peebles and fucking Mako in it. And I remember the third one being ridiculous in the first place because it's like Mario Van Peebles being like trapped in ice. So, like, I was like, wait a minute, but how could he have gotten the prize if there was somebody fucking trapped in ice in the first place? It's just, they ruined. It's just, you can't go too far down the Highlander logic rabbit hole, but. And the second one, we were talking briefly about the second one. The second one I tried watching a few years ago. I think it was after I did the screening. I was like, you know what? I want to revisit the second one because I remember like kind of liking it back in the day. And then I revisited it, and like the opening is fucking cool. Like that chase with like through the city, through the rain. Yeah. Like visually and technically, it's got some really cool shit in it. It's just fucking weird. Like it's not even bad. It's just weird because it takes the mythology to like.
Oh no, it's totally bad.
I can't say it's bad. It's not terrible, but it's not like good. It's like they become like aliens rather than like, I don't know. It just kind of just takes the whole thing and puts it makes it just go in a weird direction.
There's two versions too. It's worth saying there's two versions. The theatrical version is a stinking pile of shit.
Yeah.
The director's cut is a little bit of an improvement.
Yeah.
And you know, it kind of is, you know, again, we're talking about the sequel now instead of the first film, which we'll go back to, but the fact that it's got an environmental message at that time, you know, it's ultimately a, you know, be cool to everything message is kind of admirable. But yeah, the way it does not stick the landing at all. But those flying little green goblin fucking things that they had, the aerial duel and stuff, was kind of amusing.
Yeah, that's fun. It's got some fun stuff in it. The second one does have some decent stuff in it.
Yeah, but the first film, that opening shot of the first film, like that opening fucking camera coming in and across and going around the friggin' wrestling arena and the sound and the fucking Queen Brian May
man, the fucking soundtrack. That's one of the things I want to talk about the most. Like that's kind of why I picked the movies I did, like, or a couple of the movies I did, anyways, because like I just wanted to like just talk about movies that get me fired up because of the soundtrack. Really, like the fucking Queen soundtrack to Highlander is amazing, and the score itself, like the actual score for the movie, is fucking awesome. The fucking like Give Me the Prize and like all the way they use the Queen songs is fucking awesome. It's a
kind of magic.
Yeah, it's such a fucking 80s movie. Highlander's one of those flicks that every time I revisit it, there's elements of it that are almost like too 80s even for me, because when I look at Highlander, I see a movie that I feel could be done better in some regards, but at the same time, you can't do it now. Like, you just can't do it now because it's not going to have the same atmosphere.
Well, they are trying. The director of John Wick is fucking prepping one.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing with it is the things that make this film work are so of its time, you're right, but they also make it so great. Like Christopher Lambert, like signing onto the film and not being able to speak English clearly. Yeah. Actually benefits the film when in the context of the character and the fact that they have that throwaway line about, you know, I'm from lots of places. So that the accent, the staggered English, everything about him, like you kind of assume by the way he talks that he actually knows like pretty much every language that was ever throughout time.
Yeah, works.
And that kind of implication is really, really clever, and it's kind of accidental. And now they probably overthink it And so it would kind of be too on the nose. Whereas at the time, as a kid, that was fucking amazing. And you do, again, I come back to the cinematography of the thing, but you're right, the soundtrack, that Who Wants to Live Forever sequence.
Yeah, it's awesome.
At the time when, I mean, every time I watch it, I cry. I'll admit, I cry every fucking time. I mean, the one thing that's coming through in these comfort food flicks fucking stories is I cry a lot in movies. But the first time I saw it, it did The Curse of Immortality better than any vampire film I'd seen up to that date. The Curse of Immortality and what you the cost that you actually pay to be someone that's going to live forever when others don't is so poignantly done in this film that is at once this rock and roll film that we've talked about, opens with a wrestling arena match, and then has this incredibly intimate, beautiful relationship that's told in, again, like 80s montages was something that became a cliche. But this one, for my money, that Who Wants to Live Forever montage is up there with anything that was done in the 80s, and I think resonates stronger because most of them were all about just momentum and kind of, hey, let's have some exposition and save time and have it in 2 minutes of Rocky working out to show you he's fucking strong now or whatever. Whereas that it was just, there's a lot of stuff you got to give it credit for that it did really fucking well. And
no, it creates like an ambience and an atmosphere too, because it's one of those films that every time I see it, we talked, we touch on this every now and then, just certain films sort of give you that audio visual trance that you can go into and it takes you to another world. And this is definitely this one Highlander gives me the nostalgia vibes pretty hard, and it also it takes you that era just very well, and I just get lost in that fucking movie every time. And I really love one of the things I appreciate more and more every time I watch it is in regards to the cinematography is the use of transitions. It has some of the best seamless transitions, the one where he's going from the fish tank to the lake and stuff like that. And it's there's so many fucking transitions that I'm like, how did you even do that? I'm not sure how you would do that now, let alone, fucking 40 years ago. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's some really iconic composition too. Obviously that shot of her grave is amazing, and the shot of the sword in the ground as well. There's these searing shots in the film.
Yeah.
That again, as much as you can look at the film as trashy, I think there's a lot to give this film credit for.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, the truth is, it stands the test of time. I mean, I've seen the thing fucking literally hundreds. It's
sure.
I almost if I had a green screen, Fiona would be here with me right now because I think it might be her favorite film of all time. It's certainly the one that she gets fucking either that or Terminator 2. Nice. She just gets so goddamn passionate about this film in a way that even puts me to shame, and I goddamn love this movie so much.
Highlander fucking rules, man. Clancy Brown, the fucking Kurgan is still one of my favorite villains of all time. He's just such a good villain, and he's got that good voice, and he's just such a fucking creep. Yeah. That scene in the church is still one of the best scenes. That scene is all fucking great. There's so many great fucking lines in it too. I love that shot with the hooker that comes in and it's got that close up, that dual focus shot, that old school dual focus.
Yeah.
I'm Candy. And he's like, of course you are. Just fucking it's so fucking great.
Yeah, Clancy Brown, it's been so long since I saw the making of it. Clancy Brown was supposedly fucking in character most of the time, to the point where everyone was afraid to go near him. And he was getting so carried away because he was acting with Sean Connery.
That's cool.
That there was the scene at the one of the scenes when he's fighting Connery in the castle and blah blah blah. He supposedly fucking swung his sword and hit a chandelier or something. I mean, again, I'm 90% sure what I'm telling you is the truth, but it could be full of shit. But I remember that there was a story where he hit something on the roof, and I think it was a chandelier, and it fell and it almost fucking hit Connery. And Connery fucking stormed off set and was enraged and said, "Fuck you, I'm not acting with this guy anymore. This is fucking amateur hour," and blah, blah, blah. And it took ages to talk him fucking down so he'd even be in the room with Kurgan again.
That's funny.
Clancy Brown came and humbly apologized and just said, "Look, I'm getting carried away, and I'm kind of acting with James Bond, and I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I was a dick, and I got lost in the moment, blah, blah, blah." And then Sean Connery supposedly flippantly said something like, "Oh, I should use my stunt double more," or something. Anytime it's not a close up, I should just put my stunt double with you, or some shit like that.
As much as when I was talking about all the things I fucking love about that movie too is some of the things I think that are a little 80s, unfortunately, and just because it was the time, and the know-how wasn't there as much as like some of the stuff is concerning, like the choreography is kind of fucking lame sometimes. Like the sword choreography, it's the fucking 1980s. Like sword choreography wasn't a huge thing then. So like some of it's kind of dull.
Well, it kind of was. Like they still practice with like world champions and shit, and like
Yeah,
especially
it's
Lambert,
just
like,
not as like you couldn't do like the knowledge to do the shit that we have like now isn't really, it wasn't there. So like some of it can be kind of fucking bland. And some of the costume stuff like bugs me. Like I have the hardest time with Christopher Lambert as a tough guy character in that movie in general, with his like fucking his cheesy tan trench coat and his white fucking New Balance sneakers. I'm like, come on, man. Like it just, you don't look cool. Like you just look fucking dumb.
But he did look fucking cool then. He did look.
But he looked
fucking
cool as
then.
like, yeah, and like they're seeing that on the TV. Like he looks
Between
fucking
that and
awesome
the
in like
Lost
the
Boys,
Highlander
man.
gear. Yeah.
Between that and the Lost Boys, trench coats did make a comeback. I mean, there was the PI genre in the 30s, and then everyone fucking Bogey wore them endlessly, and fucking. I mean, it was the noir outfit,
Yeah.
and then it disappeared. Yeah, but the 80s, between that, I mean, I'm going to confess, I went out and bought fucking 2 trench coats. I had one that looked like Highlanders, and I had one that looked like fucking Kiefer Sutherland's in the Lost Boys. Yeah.
In the early 90s, I had the one
it.
from The Crow. That's what I had. I had the black leather one from The Crow. That's what I had.
Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, I went to a black leather one later. But yeah, that, I'm gonna admit, I looked so fucking 80s. It was shocking. and this film, yeah, might be responsible for that stupid look for a while.
Yeah, the fucking I don't know how you could I don't know how you could remake this movie. I'd be curious.
Well, I mean, did you ever read the novelization?
No.
I mean, I could, because I was like addicted to reading novelizations. Probably any movie that had a novelization, I pretty much read it, because I was, if I didn't own it on VHS already and had to rent it, sometimes I just read the book instead, because I could, you can knock off those novelizations in about 2 to 3 hours anyway. So it was pretty much like watching the movie. So I read the novelization a couple of times, and there's a darker film to make than what was made here from the novelization of the film. But the other thing is, the Kurgan had a backstory, if I remember, like where he hung out with Vikings and with Genghis Khan and shit. So you could almost do a story of Highlander where instead of having Connor McLeod be the main protagonist, you could tell the Kurgan story.
That'd be cool.
And again, I haven't read this novelization since, in like 3 fucking decades, maybe 4. But actually, no, not 4. I'm not that old. Or am I? But yeah, you could. There was definitely shit in the novelization that was really friggin' dark and heavy, and I think that you could really amplify that. Plus, what you were talking about with that cheesy kind of 80s stuff that in some ways deflates certain moments.
Only some though, because it enhances the rest. Like it's such a the Highlander. Every time I watch the Highlander, it's such a fucking mixed bag for me. And like even like the opening wrestling sequence, because it's like old school 80s wrestling, which was the fucking best wrestling. So I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then you get Connor fucking having a fight in the garage, which is awesome, but he's wearing like a fucking tan fucking trench coat and some white fucking shitty tennis shoes, and the sword fight's kind of fucking lame. But then there's also like the cool shit.
So many backflips though.
It cuts the dude's fucking head off and his sword gets stuck in the fucking the concrete, and like there's so much cool shit that it like outweighs the corny shit. But like I've always loved Highlander for those flaws as well, because that movie fucking takes me to like just like that audio, man, like the fucking like the training sequence of them on the mountains and stuff, and like the score that's playing in the background for that, like all these little things, I just get like transfixed. That movie just takes me to like another dimension. It's weird. Yeah, man, fucking Highlander fucking rules. And if you've never seen Highlander, goddamn, what are you doing with your life? Watch Highlander.
Yeah, I mean, to tell you the truth, because you put it on your list, I didn't put it on mine. But if we kept on doing this series and you never mentioned Highlander, I would have certainly had it on my list as well at some stage, because it's the definition of comfort food. And that soundtrack is the cornerstone of why, and then everything else that comes and congeals around it.
You want to get into what you're going to talk about next? Because I like the movie you're about to talk about. I really like. I haven't seen it in years though, so I don't have much to. Like, it's going to be...
Doug, sorry to cut you off, but Doug's just saying the police station scene is hilarious. It really is. And what was it? How do you... Well, what does incompetent mean?
Oh, yeah. Fucking...
I'm sorry. Sorry for interrupting there.
Oh, that's cool, man. I was just going to fucking dive into your first choice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my first choice is Romancing the Stone. 1984, Romancing the Stone.
Which rules? And I just saw that movie for the first time a few years ago, so I don't really
which
remember it, but I remember it being fucking awesome. But and I remember the
which
sequel
blows
not
my
being as good.
which blows my mind because Raiders of the Lost Ark and this film are the pinnacle of 80s adventure
Yeah.
fucking films for me. And I mean, I'm lazily kind of, I mean, at the time it was certainly marketed as, hey, if you like Raiders of the Lost Ark, you like Romancing the Stone. But it has so its own DNA and so its own personality. And I mean, the thing was written like 5 years before Raiders was even released. You know, it's like written in 78, 79. But yeah, 1984, Robert Zemeckis. This is the film that made Robert Zemeckis, even though the studio didn't think it would. Like, I remember there was something about the test screenings going on, and you know, he was meant to make Cocoon, and they fired him from Cocoon before this film even got released because they were like, yeah, this film's shit, and no one's going to watch it, and the test audiences didn't like it, and blah blah blah. And then they went away and shot, you know, extra footage and blah blah blah, fixed it.
Zemeckis is such a good fucking director. Zemeckis is like the best Spielberg-esque director. Zemeckis is so every time I watch a fucking Zemeckis movie, even fucking goddamn Forrest Gump, which is not a good movie, like that movie's directed so fucking well. Like there's no arguing how well that movie's directed. Like
I mean, it's one of only 2 films that I ever walked out of in cinemas, Forrest Gump, but Zemeckis at the time, like Used Cars is so fucking good. Used Cars is still one of my favorite Kurt Russell films, but it wasn't a hit. But it was a VHS. Like I mean, Used Cars could be on this list just as easy as Comfort Food. I watch Used Cars all the time.
I watched that with you.
The fact that he did Romancing the Stone and then Back to the Future back to back, like tells you all you need to know about how good Zemeckis is, let alone Roger Rabbit and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, but back to Romancing the Stone is it is fucking magic. And every time I watch the film, it's almost like watching it for the first time.
Isn't it Danny
but what's
DeVito
really interesting about it? Sorry?
Didn't Danny DeVito write it, or is he just in it?
No, he's just in it. There's a story in that. The writer's name was Diane Thomas, and she was a waitress. And Michael Douglas read the script and gave her $250,000, which was a fair bit for a fucking script back then. And she was able to quit being a waitress. And she wrote this film, and that's part of why this film is so fucking good, is because it has a female voice at its core. And that's why Kathleen Turner's character is so fucking well done. And that's what I was going to say about this film is almost better now because of that the way that it treats her character is very advanced and progressive for that era. And it's not on the nose at all. It's just that when you watch it through a modern lens, like I watched it last night. You know, I apologize to people, by the way, if I look like shit today, because I'm so fucking hungover. It is ridiculous. And Romancing the Stone came out last night. I was like, I haven't got the brain to watch something new. I'm just going to watch it all. Why don't I do some homework? I can classify that as homework preparation. So I checked on Romancing the Stone and had a blast with it. Anyway, Diane Thomas, she wrote the script, and then she went on and she was going to work with Spielberg, and she was prepping work with Spielberg. Her boyfriend was driving her Porsche with her, wrapped around a telegraph pole, and she fucking died at right at the, I mean, literally, Romancing the Stone is the only thing that she ever finished. Yeah. And that script is so fucking good. And she would have been one of the great, you know, she would have been way up there with anyone else that's a screenwriter in the 80s, I think, because of her sensibilities. And yeah, she died. A Porsche that Michael Douglas bought it too, mind you, like as a gift. Like it's fucking one of the most tragic fucking screenwriter stories ever. And just the idea of what could have been. And yeah, she was going to make a Spielberg film, and then she was working on Jewel of the Nile, the sequel, and she never got to see Jewel of the Nile, but they ended up fucking her over. But anyway, Diane Thomas, it's a tale of woe.
So she never.
We got Romancing the Stone.
Finished Jewel of the Nile?
No.
So that would probably explain why. Yeah, the sequel. Like I remember watching both of them back to back because I had just watched them a few years ago, and I watched the second one. I remember the second one not being. I remember it almost having like the Fright Night 2 feel, where I'm like, yeah, this is. Yeah. I was like, I guess, like it's okay.
It's serviceable. It's the definition of serviceable. If you watch Romancing the Stone and you want to stay in that world, you can watch Jewel of the Nile, but do not expect anything more than the most low end of expectations satisfied. Yeah. But it's not bad. It's just that the first one is so fucking good. I mean, I'm going to get back to the first one. I mean, the way it opens, the way it frames its story with that intro, the Western romance novel intro is so fucking good. You know, I finally killed the guy that, like, you know, raped and killed my sister and blah, blah, blah. And then it ends with, you know, killed my dog and stole my Bible. Like the comedy of this fucking film just comes through straight away. But it really is the strength of the cast. Like, it's a really strong script. It's a really strong director, and the cast all fucking nail it. Even the smallest roles in the film are done to perfection. Like, obviously, Michael Douglas, fucking Danny DeVito, and Kathleen Turner are magic. And quite frankly, Kathleen Turner, there is no way to overpraise her. Not only in this film, just in general. She is one of the best. She is the modern Lauren Bacall and fucking Katharine Hepburn rolled into one. And in this, Prizzi's Honor, fucking War of the Roses. I mean, the list of her great fucking
Serial
films.
Mom. Serial. She's fucking amazing in Serial Mom.
She is amazing in Serial Mom. And the fact that she kind of, I've never actually read a biography or deep dived onto what happened with her career. But she knew she was the fucking shit, and she should have been respected as such. And I'm sure that it got down to something like that, because when she turns up in Californication, quite frankly, in Californication, she owns that fucking role as much as she owns anything in the 80s. And then Kathleen Turner carries this fucking film without even having to carry the film. But she really does. And then the strength of her character, the strength of John Wilder, the fact that everyone calls her John Wilder too is a nice little fucking gag, other than the guy from Three Amigos, which I can't remember his name, the actor's name, but he's fucking great, little Pepe. The mule, oh, you talking about my mule, the John Wilder? I mean, he is so fucking good. And there's just the pacing of this film as well. Like, it just ebbs and flows in exactly the right way that it should. And the character introductions are great. Yeah, so you're introduced to Kathleen Turner, and the way you're introduced to Kathleen Turner is kind of through this, as I said, through the fiction that she writes, in the fact that it opens with the Western cowboy fucking romance that you do. And then you get to see her. And it was one of the first films as a kid that I saw where I saw that costume and dress kind of are part of exposition, in the fact that, she has her hair up in a tight bun at the start. And then as it goes along, the hair comes down, and by the end of the film, she's just fucking letting it all hang out. And it really is a strong character statement in a way that doesn't feel cliched the way it's used in the film, because the film is just fucking perfect. Like, it's a film I'm going to claim is perfect. It's a perfect fucking film. There's nothing I don't like about this film. And the way you're introduced to each character, again, I mean, I talked about this last week, and it is one of the things I cling to, is I love a good character introduction. The way you're introduced to Michael Douglas in this film is so fucking badass. Because straight away, it's almost a half an hour into the film that you don't even meet him. And then the first time you meet him, he's literally, pulls out a pump action fucking shotgun from his back holster that's like a samurai sword, and just, pumps endlessly this gun that can shoot, 20 fucking big fucking bullets. And he only loads once to sort of show it. But that's the 80s for you. And it's just a really great character introduction. And again, there's all these non-verbal things that happen. Like, the first thing he does once they start walking off in the distance is he picks up her bags and then just dumps them at her feet once they've made their deal that, hey, I'll pay you $375 in traveler's checks, for you to escort me across the jungle. He picks up her bag, and she kind of immediately assumes, oh, he's going to take my bags for him. And and he just dumps them beside her, and like, well, you're carrying your own suitcase. It's not part of the deal. But nothing is said. It's just done in body language. And it's just, really economic storytelling, but the pacing is astonishing. Again, that's where Raiders of the Lost Ark and this come in, because they both are perfectly paced films.
Yeah, they're both very similar too in atmosphere as well. Like, and the way the comedy's done, like that action comedy, like, not to bring video games into it again, but like the fucking Uncharted series, I feel borrows heavily from the Indiana Jones and like Romancing the Stone. Very much like it's got that same sort of comedic action element that really, like, so few things have done well. Like, it's such a unique genre, and that it's hard to do right. And I would put that in like the top 3. I would like a video game, and then fucking Romancing the Stone and the Indiana Jones series have really nailed that the best. I haven't seen anything else do that, honestly. And especially the comedy in this, I think, works perfectly, and it has more laughs. There's more gags in this. But I mean, I'm hesitant to sort of fall into that trap of comparing it to Raiders, even though that was the way it was framed in the 80s. I really do feel that it's doing its own thing so goddamn well. Oh, it is, yeah. Yeah, it certainly is, but it has like that. It just really has like it just feels like it could be part of that same world, like that sort of serialized action genre, like with like almost like a 50s-esque sort of vibe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm just emphasizing its own identity. But and Michael Douglas is so fucking good in this film. It blows my mind to think that they didn't want to hire him. I had the privilege, nay, the honor, to see Michael Douglas live when he was at the, no, it wasn't the Brat, I've got a complete mental blank on my Boston cinemas now. Sorry, yeah, Coolidge. Yeah, it was at the Coolidge, and he did a Q&A, like a sit-down meet thing, and we got to listen to him talk for an hour and a half about his career. And he went into Romancing the Stone at depth, because this was the film that, even though he'd done China Syndrome and Streets of San Francisco, and he'd produced One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So this was the film that finally convinced the studios that he could be a leading man, because they just didn't believe it. They offered this Jack T. Colton to pretty much everyone. In fact, Sly Stallone was going to do it for fucking ages, and then at the last second, he pulled out and decided to do Rhinestone, which was a really good career choice. And so, it was literally when Kurt Russell had said no, and Mel Gibson had said no, and pretty much every single actor had said no. And even though he was the producer, Michael Douglas, he still couldn't get his foot in the door. And then eventually they were like, okay, we'll let you do it. And it's impossible to not believe that, because he kind of even recreates the role with Ghost in the Darkness. Like, Ghost in the Darkness is kind of Jack T. Colton, a little bit more cynical and jaded, which is
Ghost in the Darkness
made to assume 20 years later.
Ghost in the Darkness is a great fucking movie that not enough people have seen. That movie fucking rules.
Oh yeah,
movie's fucking awesome.
Ghost in the Darkness is amazing.
Yeah.
And that was one of those films when I saw it in cinemas that you really notice the sound design being elevated. Like, there's certain films that elevated the way sound design works. And that was one. Ghost in the Darkness, the way it's surrounded. The Shadow was the first one. Incidentally, a Russell McCulley film, funnily enough. But The Shadow knows when it went around the cinema and surround. Like, it was one of the first films I remember really hearing that effect happen well. And yeah, Ghost in the Darkness, like, every time those fucking lions roar, it's goddamn terrifying.
I want to fucking touch on something Jeremy just said here too. Jeremy was agreeing with me about Uncharted sort of being in the same territory as, like, Romancing the Stone and Indiana Jones, as far as being like the sort of quintessential comedy fucking action adventure sort of movie. And then he also brought up the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies, and he was saying that, like, they go for the style but miss the mark. The first one is honestly okay. The first one's not great. The first one's, like, it's not a good movie, but, like, Brendan Fraser's charming in it, and Rachel Weisz is fucking awesome in it. The cast is good. It's well made. It's just kind of it's mediocre, but, like, I do agree that it nails the fucking. I feel like that it is a fun, like, adventure comedy. Like, I'll give it that.
It tries. It fails on every metric for me, aside from Rachel Weisz. Like, Rachel.
You don't like Brendan Fraser in that movie?
Not really. I don't like those movies at all. I mean, I was so excited to see that film when it came out because the trailer was a cracking one, and then I thought my expectations were wrong, so I watched it again. I was like, and then the last time I tried to watch it, I just got bored. Just a
I think
film.
I never saw, like, I think there was, I don't know if there was a third one, but the second one, I saw the second one, I walked out of the second one. The second one's bad. What's that?
There's like 10 of them, it felt like, because then they did The Rock. The Rock did ones as well.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, the Scorpion King series. Yeah, I don't know. I think the first one's fun, but I'm not gonna, like, stand by and say it's a great movie. But the first one's fun, and I would kind of put it in, like, a lower end of that genre. But it's
certainly the best of that series. But yeah, it's the low. I'd have to be real. I mean, I'll never watch it again. Let me put it that way. It's and that's the thing, is it's right in my wheelhouse. But yeah, I did not like the Mummy films.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to Romancing the Stone. Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito defines himself in the 80s in this film. And there's the DNA of Danny DeVito in, like, Taxi and everything that came before. And then as soon as he does Romancing the Stone, like, he really finds his groove and just, he repeats it in so many different ways, but there's always an element of this role in all his performances for me ever since. Because he is so fucking good in this film.
Danny DeVito is good in anything, though. Danny DeVito is
good in anything. No, he is.
And like, I need to revisit, like, some old Danny DeVito stuff, because I can only picture Danny DeVito as Frank Reynolds from Always Sunny now. Like, that is the only thing I can picture Danny DeVito as. So I need to go back and, like, revisit how amazing he is throughout, like, his career, because I love everything he's ever done. And, like, his Frank Reynolds character is just so fucking, like, iconically just gross and weird that, like, it's so hard to imagine him as anything else now.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's kind of just the character in Romancing the Stone 30 years later. You kind of figure that's kind of how he would be.
That's fair.
If he actually lived.
Yeah.
Although he had a knack for surviving. Like, he's one of those characters that, like, there's a real skill to an actor to kind of hit the screen, and you immediately know he's a survivor. He's a little cockroach, and he's just gonna fucking always survives somehow. And he's kind of one of those like Peter Lorre, you know, back in the old days. And he just owns. I mean, War of the Roses is fucking fantastic too. Like I love War of the Roses.
My buddy Justin out in Hawaii just mentioned Get Shorty. Get Shorty is I fucking love Get Shorty. I love Get Shorty. Yeah, he's great in that. Fucking Jeremy talking about
as a director, I mean, we can't not talk about him as a director too. I mean,
he's an amazing director. Get Shorty. Yeah, Get Shorty's so fucking great, and like he's awesome in that movie. Yeah, Get Shorty's so fucking good. Danny DeVito is a fucking god, and Justin also says
with you.
He's talking about like action adventure comedies. He brings up Tropic Thunder, which I'm honestly like in a minority here on this one, but I don't really love Tropic Thunder. I think Tropic Thunder is okay. I don't think it's great. I think it's okay. I've seen it a few times, and every time I watch it, I'm like, yeah, it's good. Like it's fine. I don't love it. It never like stuck with me like it did everyone else.
I'm not normally a fan of that type of comedy, and I do not like Ben Stiller comedies for the most part. But that one did stick it for me too. I like it. I mean, and you know me, I'm such a fucking self-confessed snob when it comes to comedies like that. But it works. It works for me, and it doesn't work as well on the small screen, funnily enough. It worked way better in cinemas because a lot of that sight gag that is the opening really loses a lot of its impact on home screen because, it is the closest thing to fucking apocalypse now that we've ever had as an opening since. Yeah. And it's just so epically big. And that opening kind of, I think, resonated through the whole film for me the first time. Whereas, watching it at home, it's not a film I go back to. Like, I've only seen it maybe 3 or 4 times. But
I'm the same way, yeah. And the only time I've ever revisited it was with friends who really fucking like it. I'm pretty sure Pineapple Express came out that year, and I was more into Pineapple Express than Tropic Thunder. And I remember that being like a thing with everybody.
I like Pineapple Express.
Yeah, like I remember like that being like a thing where you fell into those 2 camps because they both came out around the same time, and it was like you either thought one was better than the other, and that was the one for me was Pineapple Express. But we're fucking totally. This is what happens. We get derailed. But we got some really good comments we had to address.
No. Let them derail. We're here for our audience, right? I mean, well, I'm here to hear the sound of my voice, but yeah, the audience is important too.
You were on about Danny DeVito. We're talking about how much of a god Danny DeVito is.
Yeah, and then just everything about this film is fucking wonderful. Is all I've got to say, and it's magic, and it makes me it's the definition of what comfort food is for me. It's chicken soup. It makes my tummy warm to watch it. It gives me complete glee. I have a smile on my face from the beginning to the fucking end. And when it ends, I'm like, oh, I don't want it to end. I'd rather stay in that world for longer. And that's why I always end up watching Jewel of the Nile as well, because that's what I did last night. Put on Jewel of the Nile straight after. And that way, and again, like there's things that Jewel of the Nile works so well, and Danny DeVito is one of them again. Because the first time you meet him, he's in a dumpster, and you kind of see his hand like a little golem disappear. He's like a little fucking Gollum character. Like they really play up how fucking slimy he is in the second one in a really great way.
I need to revisit
Romance in the Stone. It is flawless. If you haven't watched it in like a number of years, or it's somehow fallen off your radar, revisit it, because not only does it stand up through the modern lens, I think it's actually a better film now than it was. Is what I'm going to say.
I'm gonna actively seek it out. If I don't watch it tonight, I'm gonna watch it tomorrow, because I remember the only time I'd ever watched it was with you. It was one of those movies I just always wanted to see, but I just never saw when I was a kid. So I watched it with you, and I really liked it. And I've only seen it that once, so I do want to. Like I remember loving it. I want to watch it again.
Yeah, I think I saw it like 5 or 6 times in cinemas, and then it was one of those ones that I did break the VHS tape and have to buy it twice.
Yeah.
I just watched it. And yeah, I sit there quoting the whole. I mean, so does Fiona. Fiona and I were like quoting the film last night back and forth, and just saying like laying lines back and forth. There's so many. So many.
I think I want to watch, speaking of Danny DeVito too, I've got, I haven't watched Get Shorty in a while. I definitely feel like I should revisit Get Shorty, but fucking Ruthless People. I have Ruthless People on DVD, and I haven't watched that forever. I don't even really remember Ruthless People. I need to fucking throw that in.
Judge Reinhold is so good in that film.
I don't even remember him being in that. That's how long it's been since I've seen it. I own it on DVD, and like I don't remember really at all.
Yeah, no, you definitely need to revisit it. And War of the Roses, though. Revisit War of the Roses, because that is one fucking dark comedy.
And it is so funny. I don't think I ever saw War of the Roses, honestly.
Oh, well, it's Danny DeVito, Michael Douglas, and Kathleen Turner. And it's just a shit stain of a fucking marriage comedy in the best way. And that you have the baggage of Romance in the Stone and Jewel of the Nile, and yet neither of them play the characters at all to even call back to that. It becomes its own thing. And
Oh,
it's
sort of
almost like
like
it's this,
sort of like with the fish called Wanda and then Fierce Creatures, where it's like it's not the same thing, but it like has that sort of that same kind of
exactly.
vibe.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of skill to do that when you've got such an iconic coupling as Douglas and Kathleen Turner, who just seem to get along so fucking well. And I'm not sure if they did in real life or not. I mean, you know, as you know, like, you know, sometimes these duos actually hate each other's guts when the cameras stop. But yeah, War of the Roses, I can't recommend it highly enough as a, if you like, because that's my sense of humor. Like, it's really black, it's really dark, and it's a cynical film. And yeah, it makes me laugh anyway. But Romance in Stone, check it out, everyone. If you get one gift from me on these podcasts, Romance in Stone, enjoy it. You can thank me later.
Cool. I'm gonna watch it again because that makes me remember how fucking awesome it is. All right, man. I just watched this one before the show started.
Doug, by the way, it is only 10 a.m. here in Australia, so this is actually coffee. I'm just heavily caffeinating myself. Trying to recover from the overindulgence in vodka last night.
Oh shit, man. I'm fucking. So in our next film, I just watched this before the show, and it's not only like a comfort food film for me. This is like honestly one of my favorite films of all time. Fucking Heavy Metal. Jesus Christ. So I have I was supposed to take it out before the show, but I got caught up in prepping. But I have a whole fucking box full of Heavy Metal magazine. I've been collecting them for years. I have the first issue. I have almost the complete run from like 1977 to 1994, and that's for me when it starts to taper off. I tried to pick it up under the new what's his name? Grant Morrison became the editor in chief a couple of years ago, and I started to try to pick it up again, and it's just not as good. Like, there's something about the 70s, 80s, and early 90s heavy metal that is like it's like the perfect combination of sci-fi fantasy to me, and nothing comes close to that. Heavy metal is such it's embedded in who I am. I fucking love Heavy Metal magazine so much, and the movie is got a couple original stories, and it's also got some adaptations from the magazine itself. The soundtrack is so goddamn great. You got like Black Sabbath and Cheap Trick and fucking Nazareth, and there's so many great fucking tracks on that movie. The animation, like, I love the old rotoscoping animation. Some of it looks a little clunky, but it's also amazing that they were like inventing ways to create for that movie, like the flyover sequence in the Tarna segment where she's going over with the dragon, and that whole scene where it's like a 3D model. Like, they built a giant 3D model painted black with like white lines for the details, so they could it's just like this crazy shot that they did, and then they rotoscoped over that. It's fucking insane how they made that movie, and it holds up remarkably well. I just watched it again for the fucking 1,000th time before the show, and like, I get so lost in that movie. It's such a weird, like, adolescent trip back to being a teenager, and just like gratuitous violence and nudity, and it's just like all the best elements of a sci-fi fantasy you would want. I can't speak highly enough of fucking Heavy Metal. It's one of the ones that I got to screen on the big screen when I was doing the Cult Classics, and that was like one of the best screenings ever for me. It was the first time I'd ever seen it in a theater, and it was just fucking magnificent. I know you're a fan of this one too, so I'll shut up for a bit and we can have a conversation about it, because I could go on and on about this, and I'm so sad I didn't have my question. I wanted to bust out a few issues for you guys.
Please go on and on. I want to hear.
Yeah, the even like the art styles, like the way they adapt some of the art styles in this one, like they do like the Den. The story of Den is like a pretty solid animated adaptation of like Roger Corman and fucking Morbius. Like, the Morbius stuff is like really in there, and the Harry Canyon, like the Harry Canyon and the Tarna versions are both very like Morbius style animation, and like it's so fucking beautiful to look at. The art style, like, throughout is just so different for each story, and Yeah, man, I get so lost every time I watch that movie. It just takes me like Tarna is still one of my favorite female protagonists of all time. Like fucking Ripley, Sarah Connor, and fucking Tarna. Like if I had to pick a dream team of three chicks I would go into fucking battle with any day, it would be those three to get you out of any situation. Yeah, man, like just the silent badass. It's almost got like a Western quality. Her just fucking punching dudes' faces in. Like, it's so fucking great. Heavy Metal is just, it's one of my favorite goddamn things, the magazine and the movie. And the second movie is actually not too bad. It's not great, but it's got fucking Michael Ironside as the villain, which is always awesome. And the second one,
I didn't mind the second one.
It's okay.
I mean, obviously you can't compare to the first one, but I didn't mind it.
Yeah. Yeah, the second one's okay.
Again, if I watch the first, well, actually, that's a total lie. I mean, I'm going to blaspheme and say that when I was a kid, I owned Heavy Metal and Fire and Ice.
Yeah, man, Fire and Ice.
And they were kind of interchangeable for me. If I had a yen for that style and that thing, which was quite often, because again, what teenage boy didn't have a yen for that fucking style?
Yeah.
They were kind of interchangeable to me. And to the point where even now when I'm trying to think of the film, they mesh together because if I watch Fire and Ice, I'd inevitably put on Heavy Metal straight after. And if I watch Heavy Metal, I'd invariably put Fire and Ice on. And even though they are very different, they're also so of the same DNA that they kind of merge into one. And now I've never actually seen either of them on the big screen. But I do remember Heavy Metal was kind of this, Heavy Metal was really hard to come by as well. And it was hard to come by because everyone that owned it on VHS watched it fucking endlessly, so there wasn't a good copy. You know, they were all tarnished, but that added to the charm of it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until, God, the new millennium, until like 2001, 2002 on DVD, that I finally actually saw a good copy of Heavy Metal. But having that tracking issue and the fucking relics on the screen and stuff, but everyone kind of just watched this movie and it kind of went out of print for a while too. Like I remember it kind of was, it was a rights issue.
It was a rights issue with the music. Yeah, like
of course it would be. Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess like the movie was like financed through Canada, and then like they had the rights for the music rights for the film. But like I guess when home video came out, the movie came out in like 1982. So like they're really, I guess the rights on home video were like so fuzzy that they just cleared it up in like 1990 fucking like right before 1997 when they re-released it on VHS and the theaters, like the bigger, nastier cut or whatever it was, which, you know, like was that's when they had just cleared up the rights so they could redistribute it. That was the first time it was on fucking VHS was in like 1997. So that movie went almost like 20 years before it like got an actual video release because of music rights. It's fucking crazy.
That explains it actually.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, so I, you know, the first 20, 30 times, 40 times, I don't know how many times. Anyway, when I watched it as a kid, it was never a crisp copy. It was never in its right fucking aspect ratio. But I didn't care. I mean, and as I said, I think that now watching it with those relics would also actually add to the fun. You know how I have that thing where sometimes some films I like remastered crisp and some I like them being grainy and shitty. And this is one, like, to me, that just needs to be grainy and shitty. But that's also, the DVD is a really good fucking DVD.
I got the Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray looks fucking nice, but it still has like, it still looks rough, like, because that's the way it was animated. It's really roughly animated, so like it's got like a bit of grit to it, but it's just like it's nice and clear, but it's still like sometimes it's blurry. It's kind of cool how that works.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, anytime I list my top 10 animated films, it's in there, and I fucking love this movie. But I haven't, you know, confession, I haven't watched it in been a while. Been a fucking while. Actually, the last time I watched it was that cool day we had at JB's. Remember when we had that marathon day at JB's where we did a Bakshi sort of crossover day, and we did Heavy Metal, Fire and Ice, Cool World,
Wizards,
and Wizards, which I love Wizards.
I hate Wizards.
I know I'm a bigger fan of Wizards than you.
Nah, but the only Ralph Bakshi movie, I'm glad you mentioned it too. The only real Ralph Bakshi movie I like is Fire and Ice. But I love Fire and Ice. Like I fucking love Fire and Ice. What's that?
American Pop is amazing.
I've never seen that one.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, I am a big fan of his. And yeah, Wizards I love. Fire and Ice, though, is his best. There's no denying it. But yeah, what a great day that was. That was the last time I saw Heavy Metal. So that was like, what, 8 years ago, 9 years ago?
It was a while ago.
Yeah, so it wouldn't fall under my comfort food movies, because obviously I don't go to it as often as I do like Romancing the Stone, but it's definitely a favorite film for sure.
Yeah, I fucking love it, man. I really don't know what else to say about heavy metal unless like other than if you've never seen it, you fucking need to see it immediately. It's one of my favorite films of all time, and just it's a great adult fantasy sci-fi film for sure.
I mean, I agree with Jeremy. Like Jeremy Tide has said, there's no other animated anthology that even works as well as heavy metal. I have to agree.
Oh
with
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like, and I mean, there's a lot that I do love. There's a lot of animated anthologies I do love. But yeah, there's something just, yeah, I think you've hit it on the head too. That adolescent fucking wish fulfillment that it delivers.
Yeah.
When you're, as a 13, 14-year-old guy, this film was like next level. And especially because there wasn't that much like it. Like even the anime revolution hadn't started yet, where you had adult animation was a very rare thing.
Yeah.
And there weren't that many. I mean, pretty much you had Fritz the Cat and this. And Fritz the Cat is not a good movie.
No, Fritz the Cat is fucking bad. Yeah. Yeah.
Even as a kid, I didn't love it. I kind of watched it just going, I'm being bad watching Fritz the Cat, and that was about it. But heavy metal had a fucking magic and still does.
I think it's because it's that thing that I talk about with you all the time as far as like the transition between the 70s and the 80s and like the elements of fantasy and sci-fi that didn't quite work in the fucking 70s because they were still too entrenched in the early 60s or late 50s ideology of like what sci-fi and fantasy should be versus like when it actually did transition into like in the 80s where it became like a very like specific like thing. It got really Frank Frazetta. Like all the years Frank Frazetta was doing stuff, like they actually decided to take it and bring it into that direction rather than just like, just sort of stagnate. Like it became like the sort of standard. So like you became like you actually got these worlds. And I feel like the animation is also transcendent in that where it's like you have the rotoscoping and stuff like you talk about like with like Fritz the Cat or like fucking Lord of the Rings, like the Bakshi stuff, Lord of the Rings or Wizards, and like, but this like adopts like a new style where like the style is more fantasy or sci-fi that's reminiscent of the 80s and now, like where it's like it starts that transition. Like so it was like one of the first to do that and still one of the best, I think. It has like a very unique look that's still like kind of reminiscent of the old 70s style, but with like a modern lens. So you're using a lot of the same techniques, but the style is like totally different. And it's such a fucking magic movie. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that period in time, that 70s to 80s transition for sci-fi is really interesting. I mean, so much of it just depends on the fact of Spielberg and Lucas showing how much fucking ridiculous amount of money you can make. And then the studio's just trying to go, well, family, sci-fi, fantasy, adventure is where all the money is. So we can chuck a shit ton of money at it and just production line out. When you look at how many films of that genre were made in the 80s, that's the other big difference, whereas before there was sci-fi was kind of like a thinking man's, trash. And then it became for kids, but it became films that adults could, the whole Pixar philosophy of an adult can watch a kid's film and you can both enjoy it. And you can slip in these little gags and things that the adults will get that the kids don't. Even when you watch something like The Last Starfighter or Flight of the Navigator or, Daryl or, War Games. I mean, any of them, they all kind of have that. And then the only one that really went adult on the fantasy side was Conan the Barbarian. And it went, John Milius John Milius masochist level adult, which,
or even Excalibur. Excalibur was a couple of years earlier than that. Excalibur's what, 1980?
Yeah.
Or 82.
Yeah, but
I think it's like 80 or 82.
Art.
But Alex, yeah.
Excalibur's fucking high art. I mean, that's a next level. Like, I mean, that's probably my favorite fantasy film of all time, Excalibur.
It's up there for me too, very much so. Even though it's flawed, it's so fucking flawed, but like I don't even care. Like that movie's,
I mean, either.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having a conversation about that one. For sure.
Yeah, we need to tap into Excalibur at some time. I mean, we'll have a fantasy show and we'll tap into that because Excalibur's a whole episode in itself to try and fucking deconstruct why it's magic, but it's a kind of magic.
Justin, my buddy Justin saying terrible about heavy metal. Listen, man, I don't want to tell you your opinions wrong.
He's saying terrible about Fritz the Cat, I think.
Oh, is he talking about Fritz the Cat? Because I know he's not talking about. Justin, you need to elaborate on what you're talking about is terrible. Because if it's heavy metal, I don't want to be the guy to tell you that your opinion's wrong, but your opinion is wrong. Like that's a fact. So.
Oh, hey, look, John Clark just joined us. Hey, John. And Bryn. G'day, Bryn. Thanks for tuning in. Nicholas, Jim, Paul. G'day. Oh, man, a lot of fucking familiar faces just fucking started watching. That's awesome. And you just missed heavy metal.
You want to get into some your next feature there, bud? Oh yeah, Fritz.
Yeah,
All
so,
right,
yeah,
good. I'm glad you. He was referring to Fritz the cat. All right,
Yeah.
man, cool. So
No,
we can still be friends. We can still be friends.
No, you're still on the cool kids list, Justin. Fritz the cat just wasn't everything I wanted it to be. I'm not even sure what I wanted it to be. But yeah, so on to the next one on the comfort food show.
I feel like a lot of Robert
so just
Crumb, Art Crumb stuff is like that though. Art Crumb stuff is like it's very like 70s. Like his art, I think he's an amazing artist, but like a lot of his stuff isn't really good, I guess. Like his art is good, but I don't like his material. That documentary about him is fucking amazing though. The Crumb documentary is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but let's get into Robin Hood for you.
Yeah, so for those who just tuned in, we're doing comfort food films. Not quite like favorites. These are the chicken soup films, the films that, you know, if you find out you've got a week to live and you're feeling miserable, that you would put in to just make yourself feel still warm and fuzzy inside and warm up your tummy the way chicken soup would. The films that both John and I, these films are in our DNA. Like these films aren't even films anymore. They're just part of our personalities almost. And,
yeah,
you know, the films that you can, you know, every single cut, every single edit, every single line, every single breath, you could close your eyes and just fucking watch the film in your head. You don't even have to watch the movie anymore. That's
totally.
what these films are. You know, and this next one, The Adventures of Robin Hood. Oh, The Adventures of Robin Hood. Where do I even start with why this film is magic to me? I mean, I guess all these films, the one thing they have in common, I guess, is that their childhood, they're part of our childhood and they're part of the building blocks that created our love of cinema. They're the films that kind of excited us so much to know that the medium was our medium. And The Adventures of Robin Hood is one of those films for me in such a huge way. This film is the first film I ever taped off the TV on VHS. By default, it is the first film that I owned on VHS that I could watch whenever I wanted. Rolling onto that, it was the first film on VHS that I watched every goddamn day of my life for years. Every weekend I'd watch Robin Hood. I just watched this film. I watched it endlessly and endlessly because it was the first one. And, you know, I can even tell you the ads that were running between the thing because I watched it that many fucking times until it broke. And, you know, then I got a proper version of it on VHS. But yeah, where to start? I mean, this film is movie magic at its fucking ultimate. So Adventures of Robin Hood, 1938, directed by Michael Curtiz, who did a little film called Casablanca. He directed Captain Blood with fucking Errol Flynn before that. He did Mildred Pierce after. Point being, Michael Curtiz is recognized as one of the greatest directors of all time for a reason. And for my money, this film is one of the big reasons. It's just logistically, it's astonishing what you see in frame for 1938. I think it was the most expensive fucking film ever made at the time, or maybe the most expensive Warner Brothers. So either way, like, it's just, I watched it again about 2 or 3 weeks ago, which is why it ended up on this list, because I had gone for about 2 or 3 years without watching it. And most every other film I choose on this list, I watch about 2 or 3 times a year. Watching it, it invigorated me so much watching it again, just what I was witnessing. It has to start with Errol Flynn. There is no other Robin Hood apart from Errol Flynn for me. There is no other Robin Hood film that even comes close to this film for me. And I love the Robin Hood film. You know, I'll even watch that Costner piece of shit and still walk away enjoying it because of Alan Rickman.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, if Alan Rickman wasn't in it, you know, but this isn't, you know, again, we try not to be negative on these things because it's comfort food. So I'm just going to talk about how awesome this film is. And Errol Flynn is the start of why this film is awesome. And Errol Flynn is one of those actors where the mythology of Errol Flynn, who, by the way, is the greatest Australian ever to fucking goddamn live. This Tasmanian motherfucker was the legend of Errol Flynn tied into the Adventures of Robin Hood and Captain Blood. Like, I don't even know, even as an adult who's read like My Wicked, Wicked Ways way more than just about any other autobiography ever written. And I still don't know where the reality, I can't differentiate. He's one of those guys, again, like we were talking last week with Lee Marvin, I just assume that what you watch on screen is what he is. Errol Flynn's one of those guys. And part of it is because I was just, you know, I think I was like 5 or 6 when this film came, when I first saw it. And so I believe everything on screen that I see, and I still do. And there's a swag, there's a way, I mean, I think the one common thread with these is I'm always going to come back to the introduction and the way these characters were introduced to me. And the way Errol Flynn is introduced in this film is that I always forget it isn't the scene that I think of. The scene that I think of for introducing him is that he's already given shit to the sheriff of Nottingham and Guy Gisborne and stuff, and they're pissed off with him because he didn't, a common dude shot a fucking deer to eat because, the taxation is too high because the sheriff's just an arsehole as he always is. And, Robin Hood kind of comes in and says, yeah, fuck you, let this guy live, and just pisses them all off with because he's so good at fucking with archery. But to me, the introduction of the character comes when they're all sitting down having this massive feast, like the Sheriff of Nottingham, Guy Gisborne, and they're all fucking talking about how cool King Richard is and, obviously going to betray, they don't give a shit about King Richard. They want to work out how to fucking kill him. Everyone knows the story of Robin Hood, right? But by the same token, no one knows the story of Robin Hood because, this version of Robin Hood isn't even the version of Robin Hood that's in history. It was like based on a fucking poem, Maid Marian wasn't even part of the deal and shit. So who knows what the truth is about the Robin Hood story? But either way, so I'm not going to run through it. But they're talking about fucking this guy, Robin, who fucking pissed them off, and, Sheriff and Guy are going, why the fuck did you let Robin kick your ass and blah, blah, blah. And they talk about how they're going to get Robin Hood and they're going to kill Robin Hood and they hate Robin Hood. And then there's suddenly a fucking knock on this big, giant fucking castle door. And motherfucker Robin Hood kicks open these big, huge doors that are like 30 foot high that are probably made of styrofoam. But, they look heavy and they open and he walks into this fucking big thing with all his enemies that want to kill him, carrying a fucking deer that's, they've literally clearly just discussed how illegal it is to kill the king's deer. He has one wrapped over his fucking goddamn shoulder, walks up and just dumps it on the banquet table right in front of the lads. Then he proceeds to pretty much just talk shit to them the whole time while they've offered him to eat dinner, and he just sits down. He actually sits down again, like he's that cool fucking customer. He sits down in front of his enemies and just starts munching on this big, huge fucking leg, this oversized fucking turkey leg, sassing the room. And you can see by his body language that, he's reading the room to know when he knows he's going to piss them off. He knows that sooner or later these guys are going to start doing shit to him. But he just sits there and tries to eat his dinner because, again, he's not starving, but, it's been made clear that the only people that are eating well are the fucking monarchy right now and those in fucking charge and anyone who's on the street. So he's just enjoying fucking feasting on this great meal. And when it comes time for the actual battle to start, the first thing he does is he's leaning back on his chair and he just fucking goes right back on his chair and lets it hit the ground, and then he does this backwards roll and comes up just fucking, flying. And then, the sword fighting choreography, we talked about talking about Highlander and one of the things with the choreography. The sword fighting choreography in this is absolutely amazing, but in no way accurate to anything. It's clearly just fencing for the most part. Fencing with broadswords. It must have been, Just given when it came out, Yeah. But they are such good fucking battles, and the reason they're good is because of Curtis's direction. Like the end fucking, it's such a swashbuckling fucking marvel. And there's a fight at the end, the Guy Gisborne versus Robin fight. And it's actually done where they go off camera and you're watching the silhouettes fight. And it seems so quaint in some ways describing it to you without you watching it. But to see the way this fucking thing is choreographed and the way it's fucking shot, and there's so many long shots as well in this film where they're not huge camera moves or anything, just static shots where things are unfolding and it's all happening. But Errol Flynn as Robin Hood. It's such a sense of adventure, such a sense of fun. And then there was 11 Technicolor cameras in the world. It was the first old school color film that I ever saw too. All the other films from the 30s and 40s I'd seen were black and white, except for Wizard of Oz. And they supposedly used all 11 fucking Technicolor cameras that were in existence to shoot this film. And Technicolor is such a beautiful thing to look at. I'm a real fan of Technicolor in the way that, some of the way that CG is used on certain films now is just bursting with color and flame. Well, Technicolor kind of has that effect on me too. And there's something, Technicolor itself to me is almost like a comfort food. I love Technicolor films. I love the use of color and the matte work and the old school ways around all these problems, where so much of this film just feels like it's in the moment and done naturally. And it's just amazing. And then the thing that makes it equally amazing, just like Romance in Stone and so many of his other films, is all of the supporting cast. Like Basil Rathbone as Sir Guy of Gisborne is one of the fucking smarmiest, slimiest, most putrid little pukes ever to be on cinema. And no matter how many times I see him, I mean, he's a great Sherlock Holmes later in time. I mean, for me, he is the Sherlock Holmes, quite frankly. Basil Rathbone in this film, every time I watch it, I talk about my tummy going warm with these films. My tummy goes in not seeing him, and I want to just strangle him and punch him in the face. The way that people feel about Shia LaBeouf, I feel about fucking Basil Rathbone in this fucking film. And we are we are Shia LaBeouf fans, but
I'm a super fan. Yeah, I think he's great.
They're punchable plays. But Basil Rathbone in this fucking film is only outsmarmed because at least Basil Rathbone has fucking some skills. I mean, sorry, Guy of Gisborne has some skills. But then you got Claude Rains as the Sheriff of Nottingham. Claude Rains, is probably most famous for being the Invisible Man, the original Invisible Man, and for being Casablanca, Captain Renoir with the, I'm shocked to find that gamblers going on here, and so many iconic lines. But as the Sheriff of Nottingham, the difference between these two villains is that Claude Rains just has no fucking skills whatsoever. He's just been born into the fucking life of office, and everyone fucking serves him. And, whereas at least Guy of Gisborne is the dude that Michael Wincott plays in the other version. And again, just like Alan Rickman doesn't really have that many skills. But yeah, I'm getting lost in my excitement. It's a film that just is reassuring to watch to me. There's times when you think about movie magic, and I kind of love the simplicity of this film in the fact that, again, everything's solved in camera just about, and there's no flaws in it because you kind of can't pick on a film in 1938 that's done this way. But the truth is, when you watch it, everyone, I mean, Alan Hale as Little John, like that iconic scene that's in every single one where they meet on the fucking plank and have a star fight. It's done so fucking well, and they just have this great respect for each other. There's a chemistry with everyone. I mean, Friar Tuck is just amazing. It's again perfect film, and it makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Have you ever seen it?
No, I've never seen it. The only reason I even know about that one is because when we were filming My Name Is Jonah, Jonah, that was like one of Jonah's favorite movies, and he would have he reenacted scenes from that movie for a calendar he made, and he had Howard Hill tip arrows and stuff. He would talk about Errol Flynn all the time and stuff. So that's the only reason I even know of that version. But sadly, the version I grew up with was the fucking Prince of Thieves Kevin Costner version, which back when it came out in 1990, I was fucking 10 years old. So I thought that movie was awesome. I watched that movie 100 times when I was a kid because I liked that movie when I was a kid. But I realize now how fucking corny it is, but it still has some charm. It is still kind of charming. Oddly enough, First Night, I think First Night is an okay. Is First Night? No, First Night is King Arthur, isn't it? Yeah, that's Sean Connery. I got my movies mixed up, but
there's so many Robin Hood. The other Robin Hood film that's absolutely fucking amazing is Robin and Marion, with Sean Connery as an aging Robin and Audrey Hepburn as an aging Maid Marian. I mean, it's melancholy, it's miserable, it's depressing, but it's fucking wonderful. I
kind of want to revisit the I have it on Blu-ray, and I've only watched it once, and I don't remember it at all. But I remember it being good. Was the fucking Russell Crowe Ridley Scott version?
That thing goes forever.
I remember it being good though. I remember it being very well made, and I remember being kind of gritty and good, but I don't fucking remember anything about it, and it's sitting in my Blu-ray collection. I need to just throw it on one of these days just to.
Yeah, I need to watch it again because I need to watch it again actually myself because I only saw it in cinemas and it just.
Do you remember anything about it?
Not really, which to me indicates it probably wasn't that good. But I need to revisit it before I speak mindfully about it. All I remember is it felt like it was about an hour too long.
Yeah,
I remember
being it's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah. But again, I'm one of, if the film's this version of Robin Hood could go for 6 hours and I wouldn't think it was long enough. So length of film isn't necessarily a criticism usually with me. It's just that, this one felt like a drag. But I can't really speak objectively about the Russell Crowe one and Ridley Scott. I know it'll be well shot because it's really
that makes me really want to revisit it again too because that was the Russell Crowe Ridley Scott fucking follow up to Gladiator that everyone was kind of hoping for. I just remember I don't remember being received poorly. I just remember just kind of coming and going, honestly. And I really feel like I need to check that out again because it probably deserves another shot.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, Adventures of Robin Hood is just so good to me that anytime I want to watch a Robin Hood film, I'm just going to watch that anyway.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, Errol Flynn, Captain Blood, like in the world of swashbuckling and heroes and stuff. That's why I love a good pirate film, and Captain Blood is amazing, and yeah, this I could have just easily included Captain Blood too. It was just I went for the comfort food definition, and the truth is, Adventures of Robin Hood is the one I go to first. But when I watch Adventures of Robin Hood, I'll usually watch Captain. Now I'm talking about I'm probably going to watch Captain Blood in the next week.
Well, if I'm being honest, my go-to Robin Hood movie is probably Robin Hood Men in Tights, the Mel Brooks fucking movie, because it's awesome. That movie is fucking awesome. So that is probably my go-to.
I love Mel Brooks, but to me that was when he was on his downward slide.
I totally agree with you. I 100% agree with you. You are correct.
But there are gags that work really well in it.
It's probably the last good Mel Brooks movie, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, which is a shame. Even Spaceballs kind of claws its way.
It does, yeah. I noticed that, like, upon revisiting Spaceballs recently, I was like, this isn't as good as I remember it being. Like, it's still like anytime Rick Moranis is on screen, Spaceballs is fucking golden. But when he's not on screen, it's just it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's parts I like and parts I don't. But yeah, I mean, Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, the producers, fucking Silent Movie, High Anxiety. That's the gold standard for me with him. But yeah, so back to Adventures of Robin Hood. One thing I forgot to say was Olivia de Havilland, the Maid Marian, turned 104 goddamn years old this week.
Oh, really?
Still alive, still kicking, 104. 104, and she made 8 films with Errol Flynn. She was one of the few fucking people that could tolerate Errol Flynn for fucking long periods of time, evidently. So that's the one thing that everyone universally agrees is, even on this film, like supposedly behind the scenes, he was an absolute jerk. He was so full of his own self-confidence and probably full of cocaine and fucking alcohol that he just didn't try half the time. Like everyone was talking about, hey, come and learn how to sword fight. And he was just, because he was so athletic as well, at the same time as he was abusing himself, he was so fucking just naturally fucking athletic and charismatic that he was able to get away with not practicing and then just pick up a sword and look like he could fucking use it. So one of the stories goes that the director, Michael Curtis, made it so that he didn't have the little protective spike on the end of one of the swords. And so he got cut. And supposedly, like, he was able to scale a fucking big, huge set building and go up to Michael Curtis and put the sword to his throat and sort of say, hey, is this exciting enough for you? Because supposedly he'd said to take the safety measures off to make the scene more exciting to the viewers. Yeah. And stuff like that. But by the same token, he was also like he was a real conflict too at the same time, because even though he was terrible at remembering lines of dialogue too, supposedly, yet on screen, there's not a frame in this film where you don't fucking believe it. And it's just incredible to hear all these behind the scenes things that went on versus what you see in front of the camera. The mythology of Errol Flynn, though, does play into why I love this film so much, because I feel like I'm seeing Errol Flynn happen to be, a great archer and stuff like that. All the iconic scenes are just so well done. But yeah, I can't babble on.
We're doing well on time. Like we realized, like, after last episode, if you're still with us listening, we realized that we went off for like 3 hours on the last show. So we're trying to keep it a little bit more tight, which is why we narrowed down our fucking selection and why we're going to move on to our next film. My final film for the evening.
For the morning.
Where is it? Oh. That just makes me smile looking at it. So my final film for the evening is the 1986 Rodney Dangerfield comedy classic, Back to School. I watched this. I watched this in heavy metal today, both before the show. And Back to School, like, when we're talking about like why we do this the comfort food podcast, like, this is one of those films that is like this encapsulates the entire experience of this show for me. I fucking love Back to School. I've seen Back to School a fucking 100 times. It's probably my favorite Rodney Dangerfield comedy. I think it's like the best example of how fucking great his range is all over the place. And he's got so many great lines in this movie. I mean, the goddamn triple Lindy. We got, fucking Robert Downey Jr. We got Burt Young. That whole scene, in like one of my fucking favorite lines is like when the football team comes to beat up Robert Downey Jr. in the bar. And he's like, and fucking, he gets in the face of fucking Dangerfield, and he's like, "We got problems." He's like, "You fucking, your problems." "I don't fucking problem. I love it. I'm not a fighter." He's like, "I don't get mad." He's like, "I don't get physical. I get upset. When I get upset, he gets physical." And it just cuts to Burt Young, and he's got like a fucking like dispenser of like napkins in his hands, a metal dispenser. He just crushes it. He comes over, "You got a problem?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "No, you do." And he just fucking throws him like a wall. That movie is just fucking got so many great moments that I absolutely love, and it's even got like one of the classic William Zabka dickhead roles in it. He plays the jerk on the fucking swim team.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, fucking Zabka's in it, and this is also the second week where I'm talking about a fucking movie that has the secretary from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, who was in Airborne as the mother. She's also in this one as the secretary for fucking Rodney Dangerfield. So I don't know what's going on with her, but like she seems to be popping up in all the movies I'm choosing.
Yeah, I guess Planes, Trains, and Automobiles will be next.
Oh yeah, or fucking Ferris Bueller itself. Yeah, man, fucking Back to School. Like it's such a fucking good comedy, and it's like it's one of the things that it's one of the reasons that I liked a lot of the comedies in the 80s, and like you'd actually shoot like movies well. Like you'd have like a good cinematographer. Like you'd shoot a movie like it was a movie. Like, and it's a comedy. It's like this dopey comedy, but it's filmed well. It's like competently edited. It's got like a fun soundtrack. It's got a cool score. Like the score is awesome. The opening credits like score is awesome. Like the little montage of Dangerfield growing up and becoming rich with his tall and fat stores, and that whole thing with the meeting at the beginning, and they're talking about like their answer to Cabbage Patch Kids is Melon Patch Kids, and then the gag is like they're not orphans, they're abandoned. It's like it's such a great fucking I don't know, it's such a great line. We got Sam Kinnison's in it, having that great role as the history teacher screams at everybody. Yeah, man, I don't know. I fucking love Back to School. Back to School is like one of those comedies that I consistently visit. I probably watch it like once a year at least. I always go back to this one. It's a really fun one. It's just a good comedy. It's got some great lines, and it's got that good 80s vibe too, where there's like a lot of the party sequence. It's just so ridiculous. Like the shit you can't do. Like that's just absurdity. Like him rolling into a sorority and popping in at a chick's taking a shower and fucking like, come on, you just be arrested for that. You can't do that. But he's Rodney Dangerfield, so he says something charming and it's funny, and I don't know. It's just all those ridiculous fucking things that you got away with in those movies back in the day. Yeah, man, Back to School. I don't know. I fucking love Back to School. Thoughts, Adam? I don't know if we've ever talked about Back to School ever.
I don't think we have.
I'm sure you're not going to share my passion for Back to School, but
no, I mean, it wasn't top shelf sort of VHS comedy for me at all. But it was one I probably saw 2 or 3 times. Obviously, the Triple Lindy is the thing that I remember the most.
Sure.
And I remember that being sold by you've chosen the right image for the TV behind this. Because the reason it works so well as hilarity is the faces he goddamn pulls while he's doing that fucking
yeah.
If I recall, the main reason I used to watch it was Robert Downey Jr. because I am a huge Robert Downey Jr. fan, and back with Weird Science and these little roles that he did that were so memorable. Like he doesn't have that much screen time in this, if I recall. Yeah. But he owns that screen time.
Yeah, he's great.
Just like Weird Science, he's not in Weird Science that much, but he owns every frame that he's in it. And I remember that was my in for it. I was a Rodney Dangerfield fan because of Caddyshack. I love fucking Caddyshack.
He's so great in Caddyshack. He's one of the better parts of Caddyshack.
Yeah, no, Caddyshack is one that could be on this because I watch Caddyshack a fair bit still. I really like Caddyshack. But Back to School, the things I remember were Kurt Vonnegut. That cameo was fucking great. It's a great gag and a great moment. I haven't seen this film since VHS. I don't think I ever even saw it in the DVD era.
Really?
But as I said, I saw it 2 or 3 times. I liked it. I just didn't love it. There's certainly things I liked about it. I'm just trying to remember. I mean, the Burt Young thing. I mean, the cast. Yeah. The cast it had was huge. I mean, the other thing that pulled me to it, other than Robert Downey Jr., quite frankly, was Terry Farrell. I had such a DS9 crush on Terry Farrell.
Yeah, man.
And she was in this. Yeah. So invariably watch this. I mean, when I met Terry Farrell, name drop here, when I go on my Star Trek cruise, if everyone wasn't aware, I go on Star Trek cruises, and those cruises have the cast members with us for a week, and we're sort of trapped on a boat together, and you get to hang out. And the first time I met Terry Farrell, I actually did mention this film to her, and she kind of laughed, and then really quickly changed the subject. So
What?
I'm not sure what that actually meant. But I'm not sure if the film has a sense of pride or not for her, but she was happy that I'd remembered it, it seemed. And then we proceeded to get drunk on tequila, which was fucking great. But yeah, so yeah, meaning Tara Farrell. Anyway, back to school was the first thing I mentioned to her, other than DS9, obviously. And there was one thing I did remember about this film very well. But yeah, Rodney Dangerfield is so full of presence, for want of a better word. And this film utilizes him very, very well, if I remember.
It really does.
Not as well as Natural Born Killers, mind you.
Oh, that's yeah, man. That's fucking one of my favorite Dangerfield bits. That's such a dark scene, and it's like so comedic and creepy, and yeah, that's a great scene with him in that movie.
And what's interesting too is that even though I love Caddyshack and saw it so much, it wasn't until Back to School. Back to School was the film that made me then go and find his stand-up specials. I'd watched Caddyshack endlessly. But it wasn't until I watched Back to School that I went, oh, I've got to check out this guy's stand-up. And then I went and got all the VHS of his stand-up shows out. And they were the thing that I watched a lot, because his stand-up is...
Oh, he's great, gold. Yeah.
Absolutely gold. I mean, and well beyond the, no respect bit.
Dude, his appearances on Carson, like his appearances on Carson back in the day were some of the fucking best. Like him and Johnny Carson had this great like back and forth, and it was awesome. Like every time he was on that show, it was fantastic.
He created a really distinct persona, and I think the Back to School uses that persona really well.
It does.
While not, from what I mean, again, as I said, I'm not speaking with the passion or the understanding that you are, but without feeling like he's just leaning into that. It kind of in other words, he does create a character. There is a character in this that isn't his stage persona.
Yeah.
Which is kind of hard for a lot of stand-up comedians, I mean, Eddie Murphy probably does it best, making his stand-up persona not be what he is on screen. But yeah, and Keith Gordon was in this too. I was a big Keith Gordon fan. I mean, Christine obviously showed me.
Man, fucking Christine
is fucking pure money. But he went on to be a good director as well. But yeah, the cast anyway. The cast was the thing that I remember the most, and the fact that the guy who directed this did like Girls Just Want to Have Fun and fucking like. And why in Police Academy 8 or 9 or 10, that Moscow one?
The bad one.
That's pretty much all he did, right? Did he do anything else?
He did a few other things. Nothing really those are like the most noteworthy things though, for sure. But yeah, like I like when you talk about this is definitely my favorite Dangerfield flick. Easy Money I think is good, but it's not great. But that's another one I would like to revisit, because I feel like Easy Money is something I should love. I just never loved it, so I feel like I need to revisit it to give it a fair try. But similar to last week when I talked about Airborne, another fucking 90s, a movie that's like super 90s, that's just like probably I love it so much because of when it hit me when it came out, because of me being like fucking 12 or whatever when it came out, would be the Rodney Dangerfield one with Jonathan Brandis, Ladybugs, the one where he was like a soccer coach. That movie is fucking fun. That movie is pretty fucking fun. Like, there's some great gags in it that are just like super inappropriate for the fucking audience it's aimed at. And like it's just got the good Dangerfield shtick. And I did like Jonathan Brandis apparently, because fucking sidekicks and Ladybugs. But yeah, man, I
loved him in Sequest. I was a bit Sequest fucking ruled.
Oh yeah, man, fucking Sequest, yeah.
Roy Scheider and here. Sequest. I was like devoted to Sequest.
It was like the underwater Star Trek.
Yeah, I mean, we can get really depressing if we talk about Brandis, right?
Yeah, fucking poor Jonathan Brandis.
Yeah, would have been a superstar. He kind of was for a little bit there.
All I would ever have to do, if I was feeling bummed out, I'd be like, you know what, I was in Ladybugs. And I was in Never Ending Story too. Wait a minute. Things are pretty okay. Fucking R.I.P. Jonathan Brandis and Sidekicks.
You're definitely out on all them with Ladybugs. As my wife sometimes says, my silence is not agreement.
Well, no, like I totally figured, but like that's why I said like that's on par with Airborne. Like I feel like that's so embedded in me because of the time it was released and how old I was. Like by then you were probably like 19, 20 watching that. Like what the fuck is this nonsense? So,
I mean, God, but the films that I have those films too. I just revisited them and didn't continue to love them.
Yeah.
But I had filmed, I mean, as we've discussed several times, in fact, probably just last week was, until I was like 15, I watched anything repeatedly. As long as there was one good scene in a film, I'd watch the whole film just to watch that one good scene.
Yeah.
Because I refused to fast forward films, so if I felt like watching a certain scene, I'd just watch the whole thing again and aimlessly.
Well, speaking of endlessly, I won't go on endlessly about back to school because even though I could, we're doing pretty well on time. So let's fucking wrap things up with your final choice for the evening. And
Okay. My
wrap things
final
up.
choice for the evening. It would be entirely disingenuous of me to not bring up James Bond when it comes to comfort food. The franchise itself is my comfort food. It was tough to come up with just one film to fall under this definition of comfort food, and I overthought it. And this is not the best James Bond film. The best James Bond film is From Russia with Love. It always has been for me, and it always will be. And I do, again, like, it's comfort food the amount of times you watch it, because I kind of just go through all fucking 25 of these films. Well, actually, it's a lie. There's like 6 of them I don't watch. I don't really watch the Brosnan ones very often. I watch On Her Majesty's Secret Service occasionally because it has the best script, some of the best action scenes, but the single worst James Bond, unless you're counting the original Casino Royale with Peter Sellers and Woody Allen being James Bond and stuff. But the rest of them, I kind of just work my way through them and go, oh, which one have I not watched for the longest, and I watch it. And the Sean Connery is my favorite James Bond. I like the rough around the edges way that he played the character, and a lot of people forget that we're talking about a guy with a license to kill. So the way that he treats human beings is really irrelevant. He's not a hero, and he's not played as a hero by Bond. He's just played as a fucking really confident wanker. And that's what I kind of like about him. And he's vicious and he's manipulative. And Thunderball, just to wrap it up, Thunderball is the one that I went with. I chose Thunderball as the comfort food choice. But yeah, there's at least 10 or 12 of them I could have chosen just as easily. But the reason I went with Thunderball is because Dr. No was the first James Bond, and I love it. But it's not what people know as James Bond. From Russia with Love, I love, and is the best one because it's a pure espionage film. It isn't until the third James Bond film, Goldfinger, that what people associate with James Bond happened, where the gadgets came in, where they became really, really larger than life. Like Dr. No and From Russia with Love kind of have a bit of a restraint. James Bond isn't a superhero in those. James Bond becomes a superhero in Goldfinger. Goldfinger is the one where he is clearly the smartest guy in the room. He is clearly invincible. He is clearly going to only have to glance at a woman and she will go to bed with him. And if she doesn't, he only has to open his mouth and say Bond, James Bond, and it's done. It's the film, Goldfinger is the one that congealed it all. But for my money, Thunderball defines the genre even more, of that era. Thunderball is just so fucking big. Straight away. It's just so goddamn big, and I'm constantly impressed with how big it is. And because I talked about Big Wednesday last week, like the other reason that Thunderball resonates with me, and it's one of the things a lot of people consider the biggest flaw of this film, is how much of the film is a scuba diving sequence where you have a big fucking underwater battle. That underwater battle just leaves me in awe every time. And part of it is because I grew up on the beach and I grew up near water, and there's something really reassuring about it. And at the start of every summer, I'll chuck on movies in the water. And that's where Big Wednesday comes in and Thunderball comes in and all these films come in. And that's why it's kind of a comfort food too, because it kind of reminds me of summer when I was a kid, because it was always my go-to first film of the summer to watch. Thunderball has so many elements that I love about the James Bond thing. Again, growing up by the water, sharks were my shit. And this is the first James Bond film that has sharks in it. And it has really fucking cool shark shit. This swimming pool that the villain has, and there's like a great sequence where Sean Connery's having to swim through this underwater tunnel. And in real life, like, they had this glass that was meant to be blocking the fucking sharks, but the trouble was there was a gap of about 3 foot above it. And so the shot that's in the film where he's swimming through this tunnel and a shark comes to him, and it's a fucking bull shark. Bull sharks are the shit, man. They'll fucking eat you. Swims past him, And the glass, it's got through the glass. And so the shot you see in the film of him being scared shitless of a shark coming at him is 100% legit. He is actually in the water with that fucking real shark, and stuff like that makes Thunderball fucking awesome to me. Thunderball also has a jetpack, and you have, again, there's a big difference in seeing CGI stunts and seeing a stuntman legitimately fucking fly off 200, 300, 400, 500 foot in the air on a jetpack and then land that jetpack. Watching that sequence still fucking dazzles me, even when it's intercut with these clearly poorly rear projected shots of Sean Connery close up on the jetpack. The actual footage of the stuntman going up and coming down just dazzles me every fucking time. Domino, Claudia Unger, is like still probably my favorite Bond girl from that really superficial, misogynistic point of view. That, you know, again, it's impossible not to tie up that misogyny with the fact that, you know, I was a young dude, and that was a big attraction for these films. And that's why this one got watched so often, because it had my favorite Bond girl, the one that I thought was the prettiest. It has a really, really great villain. And I mean, Largo is a great villain, who's the main villain, other than Blofeld, who you never see. And Largo is a really good villain. But there's this guy, Vargas, who's his henchman. And he kind of, to me, is the quintessential fucking henchman of the Bond era as well. And this is why I chose this one. You know, there's a great line where Largo talks to Bond and sort of talking about his henchman. He goes, you know, Vargas does not drink, he does not smoke, he does not have sex. What is it you do, Vargas? And, you know, the implication is, you know, all Vargas does is fucking kill motherfuckers. That's all he does. That's all he lives for. And it's where he gets his jollies. You know, he doesn't get a buzz off fucking drinking, smoking, and having sex, but he gets a buzz when he kills. And so it's that implication of him being this sociopath that's just fucking a psychopath that really carried weight as a kid. Like, I was legitimately scared of this character as a kid. And the way he's dispatched with a spear, again, that whole scuba diving and being near the beach, spear guns are fucking cool. They're a cool fucking weapon. Crossbows are my favorite because of the stealth of them, but a spear gun is a close fucking second. And the way that Vargas is dispatched in this film is just so fucking awesome. And so, and again, it's at the point where Sean Connery has really found his footing as James Bond, and he's not playing it like he's bored yet. He's still playing it with this aloofness that kind of still has power. And the way that he dispatches Vargas casually by picking up a fucking spear gun and pinning the guy to a fucking tree, which again, for 1965, when this film was made, is really a graphic fucking death. It's just cool. It's the first film where you kind of find out that there's other 00s as well, if I recall. It's certainly the first one where he walks into a room and all the 00 agents are there. And you only see them shot from the back. So there's this mystique. And again, as a kid, this just triggered my imagination so fucking much. The Tom Jones theme song is like up there with any of them. Especially when I found out like Tom Jones, to hit the last note, almost fucking blacked out in the fucking studio recording it because it was such a fucking hardcore note to fucking hit. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the gadgets as well. Like I mean, just to go into James Bond a little bit, there's sort of two sorts of James Bonds. There's the debonair ladies' man, charming Roger Moore, Pierce Brosnan type James Bond, which I don't really embrace as much, even though I grew up in the Roger Moore era. And then there's the nasty, manipulative, borderline fucking sociopath, license to kill guy that Daniel Craig and Sean Connery inhabit. And that's my James Bond. And the way that Sean Connery kind of has his foot in both camps in Thunderball is the best balance of those two worlds, for my money, out of the entire franchise, where he's still dangerous and deadly. And clearly, like, you know, there's a scene where he's almost killed at this fucking resort, and and the nurse comes in and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And he ends up basically just blackmailing her into having sex with him. And then obviously she falls for him anyway. And the whole time he's there, by the time he leaves, she loves him. But that ruthlessness, and I think that's the key word, ruthlessness, that Connery unapologetically inhabits, is so present in Thunderball while still having a tongue in the cheek. It's just a really fine line that it walks magically. And these films are just so big. They're so fucking big, especially these early ones, because you're, you know, again, before CG, before anything, there's so many stuntmen and there's so many amazing stunts in this film. I can't even list how many great stunts there are in it. And Peter Hunt edited the film, and Peter Hunt went on to direct on Her Majesty's Secret Service. And he was a guy that revolutionized the way action films were edited. And the Bond films in general are just a great barometer of action cinema and where they were in the era. That's become like right now, you know, you have the Daniel Craig ones like the Bourne films. Well, the thing with it is the way that Thunderball was edited was kind of revolutionary for its fast cutting and its impact. And that kind of still comes through. I still kind of feel that when I watch it. No matter how many, you know, I cannot count how many times I've watched it. Any of them. Like, of all the film franchises in the world, the James Bond series is probably, other than Star Wars, the one I've watched the most.
So speaking of,
I watch it.
Speaking of like, I don't want to interrupt you, but like, speaking of like, you know, I'm not a James Bond fan like at all. I don't like these films at all. But so like, rather than you have it just continuing going on and me not being able to chime in on the conversation, I suggest taking a look at the comments thread where you're just being bombarded right now by people who want to talk about James Bond. So maybe just address a few of those and talk to some of the people that do love James Bond, and we'll fucking sign off on out of here for a week.
Good call. Well, yeah, okay. I'm straight away going to agree with Jeremy Ty that you only live twice. He does look bored, and Diamonds Are Forever. He's virtually asleep. But I'll also say that You Only Live Twice is possibly the best shot of all the fucking Bond films at that era. There's that amazing rooftop fight that's shot from a copter that just is unbroken as he runs across the roof and shit. It's magic. And yeah, you can tell Diamonds Are Forever he hated. Kick-Ass Timothy Dalton. Timothy Dalton was actually my favorite Bond other than Sean Connery until Daniel Craig came along. And it is because of that sociopath. And I agree completely with Jeremy. He is the closest to the Ian Fleming Bond, Timothy Dalton. And he is completely I mean, License to Kill is fucking gold. License to Kill is the shit. I absolutely love License to Kill because it's the first time Bond goes off the reservation. It's the first time he's fucking unapologetically just a fucking cold-blooded killer. That scene with the shark and Buddy getting eaten in half as he's lowered down, and then the way that Bond treats that is, yeah, it's a ruthless fucking film. I totally agree with that, for sure. And yeah, You Only Live Twice has the best action scenes. It really does. It has some fucking amazing. But Thunderball just has, I just come back to Thunderball, is it just has all the things that I love and all these elements that tie into why that franchise kind of sold me. And it wasn't the first Bond film I saw. Diamonds Are Forever was the first Bond film I saw, and For Your Eyes Only was the first Bond film I saw in cinemas. And incidentally, For Your Eyes Only was actually the first film that I was allowed to go and see by myself without my parents, where my parents actually let me go to the movies by myself. And For Your Eyes Only was the first one. And For Your Eyes Only is the closest that Roger Moore ever gets to playing a Sean Connery type, ruthless James Bond. And there's that scene where he kicks the Mercedes off the fucking cliff that's just fucking gold, that Roger Moore supposedly hated shooting because he thought it didn't play into the kind of charming robe that he played James Bond as. I could talk about the James Bond franchise forever. Quite frankly, I could dedicate 3 whole fucking shows to it and probably talk for 6 hours every episode. So I won't. I need you guys to chime in to tell me what to talk about. Thunderball is peak Connery Bond, Jeremy Ty. I agree, although everyone thinks Goldfinger is. And I mean, I'm not bad. You know, Goldfinger is a better film, possibly. It's just Thunderball just has these elements that I fucking love. What are we talking?
I would answer. I would say for like one final question from Jeremy. Jeremy has posed a good question for you, just to wrap up the segment. In general, I think would be a good way to do it. He says, "What are your top 5 Bond films?"
Okay, in no order. Casino Royale, the new one, not the Woody Allen version. License to Kill would be in there. For Your Eyes Only would be in there. From Russia with Love is the best James Bond film, and From Russia with Love is also my favorite James Bond film. And then obviously I'm going to put Thunderball in there. And I also can't talk about Thunderball without at least touching on the fact that Never Say Never exists. Never Say Never exists purely because Sean Connery holds a grudge longer than pretty much any fucking person on the fucking face of the earth. And he left the franchise because the Broccolis just weren't paying him enough fucking money for what he thought he did. And the fact that he was able to be talked into doing an off-franchise fucking Never Say Never Again, and literally had the audacity to turn around and go, even though his favorite Bond film is From Russia with Love, Thunderball was his favorite James Bond fucking story, and that's why they remade it, because he thought it wasn't made well enough the first time, so the story goes. And I mean, there's all this legal mumbo jumbo I could go into as to also why Never Say Never Again works, but it existed. But anyway, to watch Thunderball and Never Say Never Again back to back is always fun because you get to see these two sides of the same fucking story, and shamelessly so. Yes, I did hear about the Casino Royale mega cut. I haven't seen it, obviously. And yes, Never Say Never Again plays like a parody of a James Bond film. It doesn't actually even play like a James Bond film in my mind. There's almost a tongue-in-cheek element where, again, Sean Connery just held this fucking grudge and really wanted to piss all over James Bond. And that's what it feels like. But I actually still find it works. I still find it funny. I love that line about, I need a urine sample from here. And there's some really funny gags in it. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to talk. I'm just going to say Thunderball. Thunderball is my comfort food one, but there's at least 10 I could choose.
I want to thank Kathy saying that she enjoys our passion for movies and she's liking these comfort food segments and looking forward to our show next week. I don't know if we're going to be doing a weekly thing. We're going to try to do a weekly thing, but we want to have some sort of regular. I feel like we could easily do one of these once a week because it's so easy to talk about old movies that you love. So if you guys are really digging these shows, then let us know because we'll keep doing them. If you're liking them, we'll try to do one once a week if you're really liking them this much. So.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do our best. I mean, there's an endless list of thousands of films.
Sure.
I feel just as passionately. This comfort food list is kind of endless in a way. Or it certainly would take us a couple of years to get to the bottom of it, right?
Oh yeah, easily. We could do this forever.
But
we're doing.
I'm before we wrap up, I am going to plug again the Revelation Film Festival that's coming up, the Couched, online. Most of it's for Australia and New Zealand viewers. I was lucky enough to watch Rise of the Synth last week. Actually, both of us were lucky enough to watch Rise of the Synth last week. I'm going to be putting up a review on Monday on the website for that. If you're interested, the festival starts next Thursday from July 9 to 19. You're going to be able to watch a myriad of films. I'm choosing the Foreman versus Foreman documentary on Miloš Forman, the Tavosky documentary, Siberia, the Willem Dafoe, Abel Ferreira collaboration, and Scream Queens, thanks to your boost last week. They're the ones that are sort of the highlights of the festival for me. I'm going to try and watch all of them and review them. But yeah, if you have a look at the website, have a look at the Facebook page, you're going to find links for all of it anyway, or just write in Rev Couched, and you'll get what it is. But that's the Perth Film Festival anyway. Cool. I just need to plug it. And and how did I forget? I have to make sure I mention, and Underground Inc., the film that I co-produced, is playing as part of that too. I've talked about Underground Inc. for the last 6 fucking years on Facebook. Anyone that follows me at all knows that it exists. Those people that haven't seen it, you will be able to see it as part of the Rev Fest. So Underground Inc., that's the one you have to see. If there's only one film you see at Rev Fest, make sure it's Underground Inc. Support me.
And I've got the film we made a few years ago, My Name is Jonah, that we might have some news coming up pretty soon. Some pretty big news coming up about that. My Name is Jonah might be getting a second wind, and a pretty big one at that. So we'll keep you posted on that as soon as we have something official to announce. But seems pretty interesting. And I also want to plug my company, JC Art. Visit my website, John Karen Art. I'm taking on new clients right now for filmmaking projects and really anything that requires content creation. I'm up for anything. No subject is taboo right now. I will happily film anything, unless it's a snuff film, in which case it would be a very high quality one, but it would probably require a decent payment because you get in trouble for that.
And how can people see your work?
Good call. Visit me at johnkarenart.com, and you can check out my website and give me a holler. I'd love to make some new stuff. So I
would like to not promote Skynet. Never ever buy shares in Skynet. Do not encourage Skynet. In fact, if you see Skynet, do your best to sabotage it and destroy it.
I disagree. I say I look forward to our robot overlords. So thank you guys for another episode. These are a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying doing these. And I'm pretty sure you are too, yeah?
I am having the best time. I thought I enjoyed doing the audio podcast. The only thing that we're missing is that you and I were in the same room for that, and that was wonderful.
Yeah.
But I am loving having an audience. I am loving having the live feedback. I am loving getting the feedback instantly that we get. It feeds my ego well. And also, hey, it gives us a platform to really fucking talk about film, which is the thing that we love the most.
Absolutely.
The darker the times, the lighter the film, you know, they're the light of my life. You know, and especially I've got an excuse to talk about a James Bond film. Like, you know, that's something I fucking live for this shit.
I get to talk about trash.
We should just quickly self-promote. Oh, sorry,
What's
what was
that? I said I get to talk about trash like back to school. Makes me so happy.
We have a YouTube channel. Go find Film Frak, 2 words, on YouTube, where you'll find trailers for everything we talk about. You'll find the episodes. Or you go to filmfrak.com if you want to go into our archives and listen to our audio podcast. We did like 36 of those before we hit video, before we updated ourselves to film as a visual medium, and we decided to adopt the visual medium eventually.
And once, I feel like we'll probably be doing the comfort food for a little while until we have some more 2020 stuff to talk about. But 2020 has been pretty slim pickings so far. So I don't know when we're going to do another like regular format episode podcast, but we'll probably stick with this medium for a little bit until things start to pick up. And
I mean, I have about 10 to 12 2020 films in line to watch. But I keep on getting, to tell you the truth, in these dark times, I keep on going back to comfort food. There's a reason why we're doing the comfort food podcast. What I'm predominantly watching is things that I love that just make me feel warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we got a YouTube channel, we've got filmfrak.com, we've got the Facebook page, obviously, that you're watching right now. And we've got a Twitter, which I don't put as much effort into as I should, but it does exist and I do tend to post on it. I'm trying to get more regular. But those are the things. Those are the things.
Those are the things. So until possibly next week, we'll see. We'll see what we can do. We'll let you guys know either way. So
thank you.
All right. Have a good day. Later, guys.